Guys, happy new week, happy new trading week. So, before we start the week, before we have our outlook, let's just have, a weekly trading review slash recap. We'll basically just, look at the markets and I just show you guys the trade that I had last week before, we get into this week, right? So, I had, I think my first trade was on volatility 25. All right. Although the price action was a bit messy, but we had our first win on volatility 25. So let's do it together. Right. Volatility 25 is basically selling from the higher time frame. If you watch my last week outlook, you're supposed to know that volatility 25 is selling. I did the analysis on my outlook, so you can check it out. All right. So we have a sweep here. Okay. And then the next thing is what? A break of structure to the downside. And then we had structural liquidity, which is here. And then a second break of structure, which is here. Okay. And then this was our protected eye. Okay. So this is our POI. If you are, familiar with my channel, you're supposed to know that this is basically what we are looking out for. And then this is our target. So we got our confirmation, which was an evening star somewhere here, and then my stop loss was, few pips above the zone, and then our take profit was here. All right. I use a stop loss that is few pips above this zone because, price might want to do its thing, but you have to, give price time to play out. So this was our first take profit. Right, we had our sweep, break of structure, structural liquidity, and then second break of structure. So price basically tapped our POI, gave a confirmation here, and then we had price go to the downside. Okay, I think this trade played out on Sunday. Yeah, I gave a confirmation on Sunday, and it got to full take profits on Wednesday because there was retracement here. All right, but price got to take profits around Wednesday. Okay, I also had a win on Volatility 25 1x. Yes, Volatility 25 1x. Most people we have a loss on this trade, most especially if you don't know the confirmation candlestick that you are using. Right, so we had our sweep here, and then we had structural liquidity. Of course, we now know that this is our type B. All right, and I told you guys that for a type B to be valid, it needs to have a full break of structure to the downside. So we have something like this here. So this is our point of interest, right? Now the confirmation for this was on the 1 hour time frame. It gave a 1 hour evening star, right? You can see price here. These confirmations were not valid. For an evening star to be valid, the middle candlestick, or for an evening star to be very, potent or very, very good, the middle candle has to be an indecision candlestick, right, which is a doji. So my confirmation was here at the close of this third candle, and my stop loss was here, right? So our take profit was here. And you can see a full take profit. So if you don't know confirmation entry for your strategy, you would have had a loss on this, or you would have said this is market manipulation. But here was my entry, and then this was my stop loss somewhere around here. And then this was my take profit. And you can see we had a very good win. Okay, we had a very good win. And also I got a loss on V50 1x. I got a loss on V15 1x, right? Yes. Okay, this is not V50. I got a loss on V15 1x. Although the loss was actually my fault because price was, price was ranging, right? Price didn't have a clear direction, but I wanted to go for a sell. Okay. I wanted to go for a sell. So this will teach you what discipline. Okay, but of course my risk to reward is very, very high, right? So we're still in profit. So we had our sweep here, okay, and then we had a break of structure here, and then this was structural liquidity, and then this was our protected eye. So this is our POI. So price gave an evening star as well here. Evening star. And an evening star confirmation is a three candlestick sequence. So we have a bullish candle, a pulse, which is a doji or a spinning top, and then we have the bearish candle here. So this was it. We're expecting price to, come here, but we had a loss. Right? We had a loss. We had a loss on this. So this is more reason why, you need to apply risk management and all that. You need to have a defined way of entry and a defined way of exit, right? You shouldn't only know when to enter the market, but you should also know when to regard a setup as loss. Take, for example, this trade, price was ranging, right? The price action is not clear, but, no risk, no reward, and it ended up in a loss, right? So I don't think I had any other trade that was very, very good. Okay, for V15, although the setup was not very, very good, I didn't take it, but it played out, right? We had a sweep here, we had a protected eye here, and then this was a structural liquidity, right? This was our structural liquidity, so this was our POI, okay? But the POI didn't have a 5 minute supply zone. So I was not too interested. Although we had another POI here that was supposed to, risk on. But this setup was just, it was not giving, right? It was not giving. Price tapped on it and went to downside, and price, swept everything and, came to that side. But it was a full take profit. It was a full take profit. Right. It was a full take profit. So this is basically the trade that I had this week, and then lessons learned by entering into the new week with, a mindset of win, right? I'll be doing my outlook for the week probably tomorrow or later today. Okay. So I guess for V100, yes, V100, I was supposed to buy here somewhere around here. Yes, this was it. But it ended in a loss. Right? It ended in a loss. This was a sweep. It was a very tiny sweep. You can see that the price was still ranging, so it didn't hold. So look out for, trade setups for this week. For V100, I'm looking for sell opportunities, right? I need to have a good thorough analysis before this can be my entry. But if you want to take risk, you can look out for a valid confirmation here, and then you can, enter, right? So anticipate my outlook for this week. I might be dropping a video tomorrow. Okay, so look out for it and then see you guys along the week. All right, probably on my Telegram, right? Because all the trades that I took here, I do drop most of them on my Telegram channel for free, right? So you can search SAMMYYESE on TikTok. Sorry, on Telegram, and you see my channel there. So see you guys and anticipate our outlook for this week.